What's going on, guys? My name's Zane, aka Direwolf, and I'm going to be showing you how to get the most out of your 8BitDoUltimate 2 controller for Pokemon Legends EA Mega Dimension DLC. Alright, here we are in the 8BitDoUltimate software V2. Once you plug in your controller, this should be a pop-up option. So we're going to click Switch, and then choose your profile. This is going to be my Shiny Hunting profile. And then once we come over here to macros, I'm going to show you guys how to program all of these macros. What I do like is because of the different hyperspace dimensions, you can get away with just the hyperspace large, but for some of those smaller zones, you have a much faster loading screen time. So having a slightly quicker macro to run those smaller ones lets you waste fewer calories. So I'm going to show you guys how to program the fly spam with the hyperspace on the small, but I'm going to show all of these macros here. So we'll get into it. This is just a quick turbo A that I have programmed to the right bumper. Super easy. Set this to a repeat, 0 intervals, and just click A, release A, and have that as a 50 millisecond timer. So every 10th of a second, you're just registering an A input, and this just makes getting through some of the cutscenes, loading screens, stuff like that much quicker. Another good one to have is the load backup. So if you're resetting donuts in front of Ansha, this is going to be your go-to option. So you can actually program your up, B, X into one macro. So I have that programmed here to this top left macro bumper there. The one that really matters here is the fly spam. So this is the one that's going to let you get all of your shiny hunting while you eat dinner, do chores, whatever you got to do around the house. So what we're going to set here is we're going to set this to press A, start, and A. And so when you're making these macros, you want to think about what is it that you're trying to do. And so when we're fly spamming, we are opening the menu and we're pressing A twice. But one thing you'll notice up here in this interval, when you set it from single to repeated on an infinite loop, this interval is going to max out at 2000 milliseconds or 2 seconds. So you need this interval to be something that is inside your program that takes less than 2 seconds. So most people are going to think fly spam, press start, press A, press A. But with that configuration, you're stuck with your loading screen, which is more than 2000 milliseconds, being your repeated interval. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to shift it a little bit, and we're going to move it one operation back. And so we're actually going to start this macro when we hit A to initiate the fly, so that our loading screen is the next thing that is set. And then we can open up the map, press A again, wait the 700 milliseconds for the "Are you sure you want to fly" option to pop up, and then the macro restarts. And then the only difference that you're going to have when you do the smaller hyperspace hole is you're going to drop this down from 2850 down to 2750. That I found is a nice sweet spot that you are still able to get through the loading screen and then press the start button. Because if you don't and you miss that and you're too tight on that window, or your loading screen buffers just enough, you end up inputting 2 A's, which is enough to hit the return to hyperspace. Are you sure you want to leave hyperspace? And then you've just thrown off your entire shiny hunt. So you want a little bit of buffer there just for the variance that you're going to see in your loading screens. But let's get into actually recording one of these for ourselves. So we're going to come back here. We're going to hit create new macro. We're going to call this one hyperspace. And we want, because this is going to be a fly spam, we want it to be repeated. And like I had the other one, that's the 700 milliseconds that it takes for your screen to register you hit A and then pop up the "Are you sure you want to fly?" We're going to come over here to start. We'll get our controller. And all our inputs are just going to be A, start, A. And then we'll hit stop. And now from here, what we care about is the timing. So I like to make every button input 50 milliseconds because that's pretty darn close to what I just naturally hit anyway. And my OCD likes round numbers. This next one here needs to be 750, and this is the gap between when you pull up your menu and when you hit A to fly. And then all that's left right here is our load screen. And so if you're on a Switch 1, this is actually going to be a lot longer, and it's going to be closer to that 4,000 millisecond mark. But this is the one that you really need to play around with trial and error, because your own switch and your own hardware might differ a little bit. But for the smaller zones, 2750. And so I like having two different macros, one that's at 2750, one that's at 2850. That way, depending on the zone that I am in, I can monitor it for a little bit, figure out which one of these fly spams is going to be the best option, and then lock that one in. And so here we're going to hit save. And then to assign this, all of the extra buttons are on the back here. So I have, like I said, I've got my turbo A assigned to one of the shoulders, my load backup assigned to the other, and then these little paddle buttons back here, I like to have my hyperspace large and then the hyperspace small. And so to assign it, we're going to click the button that we want to assign, click the macro 3 dots that we want to assign, and then click active. And then here we go. Now it's been added to the macro, and that's it. Go back, we'll unplug the controller and see how it works. All right, I made it to the wild zone. I'm gonna use this Sparkling Power 1 Alpha Power Level 3 donut that I've got here with Catching Power Fire Level 2, kind of a really nice roll. And I'm gonna just be resetting to get a really good Delphox encounter set, hopefully getting 2 of the spawns at the same time. And with the magic of editing, I will see you guys when we get it. Okay, so I finally got a good hyperspace hole here. I've got Delphox spawns up to the right, and I got Delphox spawns down below. So now what we're going to do to get the macro going is we're going to open up our menu, click A on the travel here, and we want to be on the do you want to travel here menu. And then I've got it programmed to the back paddle here. And this is going to be our first A press and then the load screen. And we're just going to let this run. You want to monitor it just for a little bit, make sure that this is running, and I'd say about after 3, you're going to be good to go. But sometimes there's a little bit of a drift, and depending on your load screen, so you do just want to monitor it. Don't want to just completely walk away from it until you've seen that it's working in that hyperspace zone, just because those sizes are so variable. But this one looks to be going good, so we'll come back in about an hour and see what we got. All right, we're back. I left this running while I went and freshened up, as evidenced by no more beanie. Let's see what we got. Doesn't look like we got anything up here. Oh, it looks like we got one. See if I can get it. We got one shiny up here. And then down here. Shiny, shiny alpha. All right, so out of this we got 2 shinies. I think I'm gotta not die here. Fun fact, if you die as you fly spam, you are setting hard saves. So you can go back in just with an A. And it's like nothing ever happened. So down here, we've still got our shiny alpha, our shiny, and then our second shiny up there. Now that you've got the macro set up, check out this video somewhere on here that shows you how to get the best possible donuts to maximize your time in hyperspace and get as many shinies as possible. See you there.